Already in. Yeah.
Slightly, yeah. Most people are saying already in. If you get into the finals and you beat them, that says a lot, right?
Yeah, definitely. That shows some legitimacy to actually how good your team is, because when you look at these teams, you don't know how good they really can be, right? Like, it's hard to say that, oh, this is a TI caliber team unless they're consistently beating or, you know,
other TI caliber teams.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we are back into our draft after a little bit of a hiccup. No problem. We got your backs, fam. Planet Odd is going to take out the Night Stalker again. TNC had been first picking the Night Stalker very, very regularly yesterday, getting a lot out of that hero. TNC will take out the Keeper of the Light.
That's it's honestly nice for Planet Odd to have this Keeper of the Light always banned, because it gives them a drafting advantage in that they know that the Coddle is going to be within one of the first two picks, first two bans, so they can actually get something that other teams wouldn't be able to get, like a Wisp or something.
I don't think I have seen them play Coddle. Yeah, it actually is first ban.
Yeah,
it's been banned every game.
It's just that they when that hero fell off, they kept picking it and they kept winning.
I want to see the Nature's Prophet in this game. I want to see how they treat it. I don't know if TNC will ban it, but I know Planet Odd have been picking it a lot.
I think it would serve them well to pick the Nature's Prophet, just to kind of show what they can do with it, because I do think the Moon is the type of player that pretty much no matter what he's against, he's going to do fairly well in the Nature's Prophet, and same with the Coddle.
Oh, wow. That's a surprise to me.
That is a bit of a surprise.
Phoenix ban, huh?
Now, TNC is going to have that first overall pick. They're going to take the Sand King. So the Wisp was on the table, and TNC is a Wisp team, but Sand King, you know, the staple really of so many of these events. Planet Odd going to come on. They're going to do Drow first phase. All right, the Puck Flex pick can either be a mid or an offlaner, but they're going to take the Drow Ranger in the first phase. If you can't beat them, join them from that last game, guys.
You know, come to think of it, actually, this is a really good first phase opener, because the Puck can go mid or off lane. Like, the Puck is going to, wherever Puck goes, it's going to win, because it has the Drow aura. So this is I mean, yeah, this is just pretty insane.
Yeah,
Batrider.
Have we come full circle? Now Drow Ranger, first two?
Maybe. I'm not quite convinced of that yet, but
it always slowly creeps its way in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, this is a difficult Drow game already, right? Sand King, Batrider, two heroes that get right up in your face. They have a lot of magical damage. They put on early game aggression.
Yeah, but it is something like you can just try not your hardest not to feed and just provide the aura to your other lane.
You should try to do that in every game.
That's simple, huh?
Try not to feed.
Is that in one of your Pugna guides?
So sometimes there's tactical feeding, dude. Brax knows, he does it all the time.
Is that what you say to your teammates? Just try not to feed.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever I die, I just say it was tactical. I planned it all along. I'm gonna get experience
Space
now.
creative.
Then I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we got some problems. So I was going to say that by first picking the Sand King, you also kind of leave your draft ready for Wisp as well. By not picking it there, if the enemy team doesn't deny it from you, you can pick it in a spot where you have see two of their heroes and you have two bans, right? It's kind of that power pick for first pick. But once you see the Drow and Puck come out, you definitely don't want to play that into it.
Look at the Oracle ban there by TNC, showing some respect to a hero that they used to counterpick really extensively yesterday against a Sven.
I mean, I'm kind of curious why they would ban that.
The Oracle?
Yeah.
I guess they don't deal with the 5-man. It's a good break for last
It's very good 5-man.
Yeah, like they just all of a sudden they get Aegis and then they go. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, does it purge the lasso?
Yeah, it does. The ulti does.
Oh, the ulti. Oh, of course. Right.
There is also the old theory-crafted Drow Huskar strat, but I don't expect anybody to pull that out.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I wonder if TNC is looking to pick maybe a Sven into the...
We asked for no Sven. They probably heard
Not
us.
anymore.
They do.
Okay, so that's... I mean, respecting their own counter to Sven is pretty, pretty next level.
Yeah.
Just thinking that Planet Odd will have watched that
because if people have a lot of armor, Drow and everyone else does far less damage, right? Because they rely only on the Drow aura to do physical damage.
Oh yeah, we saw the Sven picked in the last series against something very similar, just with the Void, which I think was weird. But the Sven is definitely.
With TNC's draft though, you can kind of pick whatever you want. Like
you can go anywhere.
So open.
Yeah.
These are some very basic, flexible heroes that can fill multiple roles right now, and they're not weak laners at all. Batrider very strong in lanes as well. Sand King runs around with boots.
You have a lot of physical, or you have a lot of magical damage. Good lockdown. It's a very strong opening.
Yeah, TNC taking their time here. Maybe debating whether to leave that Vengeful Spirit in the pool.
There's Venge. There's also Bristle. Although I don't know how much you would want.
There you go. They're going to ban the
Venge.
Okay.
I wonder if they pick Bristle to kind of frontline for the Drow Puck. I mean that kind of solidifies the lanes is the only thing. It is a little weak against the Batrider, but
they could go for maybe an Invoker draft. It's like the weakness of Invoker is
They're definitely going to pick a support now. They don't want to reveal all three.
Yeah,
of
I
the
know.
so,
Yeah. But like later on, I think they have the option to go for Invoker. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
They've got so many options, right?
Yeah.
They can pretty much go any way they want right now.
You kind of need, if you look over the last couple of patches, Invoker has like this huge, he has about a 70% win rate with Legion, Nyx, or Earthshaker, and about under a 40% win rate otherwise. You need that Sunstrike setup, and I don't know that they necessarily have that.
But the Dread Warrior kind of combats that, right?
Yeah.
The Sunstrike is for the farm, so you can get more items. But if you farm better in the mid lane, which Invoker usually doesn't, it kind of it's not the best, but it does.
It gives you the Wex option as well, right? If you actually want to play that.
It's been so long.
Nobody wants to play that.
It's been so long since I've seen the Wex.
And you still have some. I mean, you know, Planet I can still pick an Earthshaker here, for example.
I mean, there's literally anything that can be picked
there's
right
an Earth Spirit available right now, which is a misery.
That's actually it's crazy on one side, but it's super crazy on the other.
5-man, let's go.
This
is the Dragon Knight.
This hero has been statistically a disaster in the last couple of patches. Witch Doctor has been terrible. TNC's going to come back with their silencer. Whoa.
Oh, this.
Okay, silencer, pretty nice here. I mean, that is one hero you just can't team fight into.
Yeah, good luck with your Death Ward. You know, Puck is all of a sudden not nearly as elusive.
Yeah, destroys Drow Ranger as well.
Yep.
You can't even lane into him, even with Drow Ward. The orb is just so much less.
I was being sarcastic. I was saying that he silences no spells because Drow actually has no spells.
You can't use your orb.
We just totally got debated there because I was racking my brain about how the.
I didn't even listen to what you said.
I got you good.
I mean, I wonder where they're going to lane the silencer. There's so many places they could lane these heroes. I mean, imagine it's mid just because it's just such a stomp hero in mid lane and forces a lot of people to come to mid and makes a lot of space.
Does that sound like a Cuckoo hero though? So when you think Cuckoo, do you think silencer? I definitely.
No, I don't really. I mean, but where else? I mean, as a support with Sank,
last time they played it, it was a 5 silencer, which doesn't sound great.
Oh no, not
Weaver into
5 silencer into Weaver.
But yo, this is actually a sick draft. Like the Weaver Drow is, you can actually offlane the Weaver and you can absolutely stomp. You can actually send the Weaver mid too, and he's gonna do really well, pretty much against whatever.
You could even play him as support.
Like, you could. Oh yeah, dude.
That's what I imagine.
That's so good.
I think so.
But it's a Bat Rider. They might aggro and try to lane the Weaver against the Bat because the Bat against Weaver that's literally the worst matchup for Bat in the entire game.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day.
It's so miserable. You just feed.
For the record, the last time Cuckoo played Silencer in a professional match was against Planet Odd at the Kiev Major, and they won that game.
Wow. Yeah. There you go.
That's
they have a specific draft for them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
because I really think if they put Silencer as a support hero, Weaver with the Dread Warrior is going to destroy him.
You guys are big haters of the Phantom Lancer, huh?
He is one of my least favorite heroes in the game right now.
Don't worry, I'm also a hater.
Okay, all right.
Not great.
It's really hard against Puck, and actually the Witch Doctor Cask stuns the illusions for 5 seconds. Yeah. So it's pretty darn miserable.
Yeah, TNC last picked the PL against Liquid in the final game at Starladder, and they picked it as a counter to the Invoker in lane, the Miracle Invoker. Yeah. And it still, even though he had a decent time in lane, it still just felt like it didn't come online in time.
Yeah, I was watching that game. It didn't do enough. It felt like the nerfs to PL were just too much.
Such a weird hero, isn't he?
That is a weird hero.
He's like a carry, but he has lots of magical damage.
Does he even really carry that hard?
Exactly. That's the problem, right?
Usually,
when I call him a support, no.
When I see PL, it either goes 2 ways. You're really far ahead, you have a lot of farm, and you're unkillable, or you're throwing lances and hoping the lances do damage to the hero. Like
well, let's talk about what's in TNC's head right now, though. Like, is there something on the TNC pick list right now that sort of screams synergy with the PL that I'm not seeing?
They're definitely looking at lanes right now and how they can win some of these lanes.
They have counter push as well.
I mean, the PL gets on top of the Drow. I guess that's okay.
With the Phantom Rush.
Yeah, yeah. So that's something that can close the gap.
They have
that hero.
Bat Rider. So Planet Odd want to group up and push. They have Witch Doctor. They have a lot of ranged heroes. They want to click buildings. They can Bat Rider, Silencer, and then PL. Like he can use the W preemptively, and all the illusions can gank on the lane.
Yep. And then counter initiate with the
Sanking.
That Sanking Epicenter, yeah, which would be very good because Odd actually they're very squishy. They're all very squishy.
Yep. You know, Odd actually can't team fight. They don't want to group up and take this team fight when they have Blink Daggers up and then feed. It would be
so that's definitely a 5-roll silencer. They're pretty much just using the.
This is going to be a Raven. It looks like it's going to be a Raven PL and a Cuckoo Ember Spirit.
I really want to see Dragonite this game. I think it's actually pretty good. It gives them that frontline tank. It's also range when it wants to be. Good lockdown for Ember Spirit in the mid lane.
I think the Ember's a really solid pick here. It's very good against Weaver, very good against Puck. Pretty much you put the bolos on either of those two heroes and they're dead.
Second support on the way for
They
Planet Odd is
it could be
that's going to be the Earthshaker. Okay,
but that could also just be a
mid Earthshaker and a 4
it could,
Weaver.
yeah. I'm thinking it's a 4 Weaver.
it is going to be Weehaw on the mid shaker. Jenkins with the sick call.
And Chain.
All right, guys, and Shane, my man. Look at this.
Nice job, guys.
Guys, my panel is next level. I got to ask you though before we send it over to our casters, who do you like in this game 1 here?
I like the Weaver. I'm a huge fan of that
Weaver with
lineup.
Drew Aura
Yeah,
offlane is the scariest thing on Earth support. Like he can pressure every support in the game basically.
I'm gonna go TNC.
All right, why?
Okay.
They have the team fight. When you have team fight against Drow lineups, they have a difficult time grouping up. They get under-farmed. And, I mean, once these heroes get ahead, PL, Ember, they're extremely elusive and hard to kill. So
I don't think they're going to win the lanes to get that far, though.
That is true. That is the biggest thing.
It's going to be
I'm
over
going to
in like
make
10
it an
minutes,
even split, guys. I'm going to go for TNC as well. So it's 2-2 on the panel. And with that, let's send it over to our casters. Here are Suns fan and Base Kip.
There we go. Thank you, Nahaz. My name is Sunset, joined by Base Kip. We have game 1 of this best of 3 lower bracket finals between Planet Odd and TNC. What do you think of these lineups, my friend?
It's interesting. I feel a little bit split, kind of like the panel. On the one hand, you've got TNC with the Batrider plus Silencer combo, so really reliable initiation and plenty of ways to get on top of the Drow Ranger, but then also Planet Odd, decent team fight. I feel like a lot of this comes down to how the Earthshaker versus Ember matchup, if that's going to be the mid matchup, ends up playing out. I don't think that they can really leave the Ember alone in that lane, otherwise the Earthshaker is really going to kind of run away with the game. So I think the Sand King really needs to be pressuring there as much as he can.
I'm really excited to see a Weehaw Earthshaker. I knew it wasn't going to be Puck all along because he can't play that hero. I told you that privately.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows. He just literally can't play Puck. But with that, let's jump into the game. But yeah, I have not seen his Earthshaker in quite some time. I know he's a big fan. So it should be an interesting game as Tim's going to TP right off the bat on this Sand King.
There was a recent game, I don't exactly remember which teams were playing, but there was an Earthshaker mid picked up against an Ember Spirit. I remember that matchup going extremely well. Yeah, it was the Samael Earthshaker, and it went extremely well.
Nobody remembers who they played against because they got wrecked. Right?
Yeah, I think that's about right. So we have an early movement out here to plant a somewhat, well, not an unusual Observer Ward, but manages to get them a little bit of vision and block out this small camp. And it looks like they also spotted Odd planting down an Observer Ward of their own. Indeed. So nice early movement from TNC.
Yeah, they're going to probably be able to counter that pretty quickly. They did see it and all that good stuff. But
ooh, are they going? Is this a smoke coming in here? They got the line drawn from Theban. They want to. Looks like they might want to wrap around and get this first blood on the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, they're going to smoke. Does not hit the Ember Spear, but he's going to stay there for the Bounty Rune. How's their kill potential looking with a PL into a Burrow Strike? It's not too shabby, I guess, depending on what Silencer skills here. You have to imagine it's going to be last word.
I think they'll probably go for the Arcane Curse, just so that they can get some more auto attacks off and chase the kill down.
Arcane Curse. Ooh, interesting. Uh-oh. They're going to aggro this rune. And Weaver, as we see. Shikuchi's away. It is going to be a support Weaver, as we talked about, with that aura from Drow. Not really losing that much. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Oh, man. I think a little bit of a misplay from Odd. Resolution was holding his skill point, but Moon and Saksa were both going on the Batrider at the bottom right, and he got away with about 100 HP left. If he'd skilled the aura, I think they would have gotten that kill for sure, but he hadn't grabbed it already.
Huge misplay. Gracious me, oh my. But yeah. What would... I guess if you get aggressed on, you kind of want to go Gust in some situations, some crazy situation to be able to save your support, but yeah, that would have been definitely good to see as Weaver getting aggroed on yet again. It's going to be a tri-lane to start, tri-v-tri with a Phantom Lancer versus Drow Ranger. You don't see that every day. I mean, we're talking before the game, Phantom Lancer versus Drow in a 1v1, let's say. How would that go?
I feel like it would not go that well for the Phantom Lancer. The Spirit Lance spam can add up a little bit, but I feel like even in this tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario, Odd, just by virtue of having the triple ranged heroes, the harassment is going to add up a lot. So TNC can't afford to just sit here and trade harassment because they're not going to win that battle. They really have to look for kill opportunities.
Boy, Tim's is coming in. He's going to get, well, the Burrow Strike is available. He's going to use it. A lot of damage coming out. The first blood's going to go the way of Planet Odd, actually, taking out 1437's silencer, but it'll be a trade for the carry. And I don't know, that seems okay for Cuckoo and company.
Yeah, I think it's all right so long as they feel confident about how the other lanes are going to end up playing out. It's Puck versus the Batrider, but it is, of course, a Puck with the Drow Ranger aura, so I feel like this is actually a pretty solid matchup for Moon. And mid lane does seem like Raven doing all right so far against Wii, but you know the matchup really starts to get more difficult once more points come up in the Aftershock and the Enchant Totem, so that's what we're kind of waiting to see here.
Tim's looking for another bounty run here at top. Will he be able to get it? But Soxa is here along with Misery. And remember, that's extra damage coming in from the Drow Ranger. There's the cask, as we're not seeing it on stream, but don't worry, it's happening. Sand King drops to the deck, Base Kip. I got you, bro.
Nice, nice.
I got the Chinese guy. Whoever's doing camera, I got you. No worries, man. No worries at all.
That's all good. Not a crazy important kill in the grand scheme of things. Tim's is already back here, but the Witch Doctor and the Weaver just doing so much damage. And the Weaver's looking like it's going to turn out to be a fantastic pick this game. You know, we used to see a decent amount of position for Weaver with the Drow. And jump in from Tim's here.
Yeah, onto Witch Doctor, attempting to run away. Gets a cask off at the last second. And actually going to find the Phantom Lancer kill. Will cost him his life, but is well worth it for Planet Odd. As 1437 looks to be next on the list. A couple more right clicks and Misery with an early level of Geminated attack, just doing so much damage. Drow Ranger, well, Resolution does get hit a couple times from Tim's. There's no Caustic Finale, and Burrow Strike was already used. Sox is here with the heals. He'll live.
Yeah, I don't think this lane is quite playing out the way that TNC were hoping. They kind of laid all the groundwork, especially blocking out the small camp, preventing Odd from really pulling and getting that little bit of an incremental advantage going. But it turns out that they don't even need that. They can actually just fight them right now and actually end up winning these little skirmishes. So I feel like for TNC, this is where they have to kind of reevaluate the laning situation and maybe maybe consider rotating the Sand King around a little bit. I do have to say that Raven is doing quite well for himself here on the mid lane, so
yeah, it's pretty damn even overall as far as Earthshaker versus Ember in terms of CS. Actually, now that I looked I literally just looked 2 seconds ago and it was even. He's up by 6 CS now. Is Earthshaker?
Yeah, we might be dead here.
Yeah, and he's going to tick down to that Flame Guard level 3 at the moment for Raven.
All right, so it looks like maybe this matchup not quite working out the way that Planet Odd were expecting, and so long as they're winning their 2 solo lanes, I think this is fine for TNC as they go in again top.
Yeah, Witch Doctor taking a ton of damage. Not going to be enough to take him out quite yet. How do you feel about Phantom Lancer just in this game in general? As Tibbs is going to actually find the kill, I do believe. Burrow Strike should finish off Soxa. Indeed it does. Weaver. Misery. Still only level 2, but again, with that early level of Geminated attack, it's so much value when you have 13 extra damage for literally nothing.
Yeah, he's got the Blightstone as well. It'll probably build into a Medallion Solar Crest a little bit later on. Gives them a lot of Roshan potential as well, along with the Drow damage. But going back to that thought about the Phantom Lancer, I feel like for every hero other than the Earthshaker in this game, the PL is actually really, really impressive. I think he's going to be able to split push with a lot of confidence this game. So long as he sees the Earthshaker, that's really the only hero that he needs to be worried about in terms of catching him out. So jump in mid.
A lot of remnants coming in. Weeha is going to die yet again in this mid lane. But it was to 3 heroes, so a little bit understandable. Yep. Cuckoo's taking a lot of damage in the top lane in the meantime. Misery aggroing real hard. He's actually going to get the kill.
He had the
Swarm
doppels.
Is so legit.
I guess he misclicked, maybe clicked it a little bit too far away there, and had to run forward to try and use the doppelganger, and just does end up falling.
Yeah,
Couple little misplays so far.
It's one of those skills that you're actually confused as to why it acts in that manner sometimes, where you should be able to click wherever and it just goes off.
Yeah, as far as it can. The same way that kind of a blink works, but
right.
Yeah, not the case. All right.
Weeha has to do the walk of shame back to the mid lane. Level 5.5 right now versus the 6.5 of Raven, and Raven doing a fine job. Yeah, top lane, there's the Burrow Strike into the extra damage from Cuckoo. Resolution pops the wand, but it's not going to be nearly enough. And this lane has somehow turned around in the favor of TNC.
Yeah, the support rotations from TNC have just been really on point. The only time that they left the lane was to head over towards mid. I feel like Resolution was maybe thinking to himself, okay, maybe that's the end of this tri-lane. They're going to rotate the supports down towards bottom after that, or keep them around mid, and I have a little bit of an opportunity to grab some farm, but TNC were not done. Immediately rotate over towards the top side of the map, and Odd a little bit late to get a couple of these wards out here. They do have a ward at top and now at mid, so they'll be able to spot these future rotations from the supports, but the map was a little bit dark.
Mid lane, Raven, oh, nice dodge onto the Echo Slam, but a lot of damage still being done, and they end up taking out the Ember Spirit thanks to the rotations. He actually dodged the fissure, not the echo slam. But either way, enough damage is done. With support from his friends, Weehaw. Not quite a Sumail performance yet, but...
Not quite.
But it is Earthshaker. It's one of those heroes that can really, once you get that first couple items, bottom lane, Batrider aggroing on the Resolution. He's going to get some TP support from Soxa. There's the cast. 1437 here for support, though. Resolution, better be careful with the right click. Sam H, Illusory Orb is going to connect. Moon wants the kill. He'll get it. Soxa attempting to help Resolution with the body blocks, but it's not going to work as Cuckoo finds the kill. So it's a 1-for-1 as 1437 finally out, thanks to the Misery's right click. Cuckoo.
Oh, the
Looks
juke!
like he'll be fine. They're actually going onto the illusion. Was that a doppelganger?
Oh my god! That was a hell of a juke.
Was that one of those ice moves where you just stand still and you move?
Yeah,
the
so he left his main hero just attacking the puck, and Moon thought there's no way that this is the real one.
Oh, top lane, nice gust. Gonna prevent any more initiation possibility. Misery was there for support, but didn't really have much mana to speak of.
Man. The pace of this game is insane, but this is exactly what TNC's heroes are great at. They're
That's what
really,
their team
really
is good at in general,
yeah.
right?
yeah. They're really, really good at running in, finding these aggressive kills, combining almost any two of their heroes together. They can easily get a kill on almost any hero on the enemy side of the map. So it's really difficult for Planet Odd to really read the rotations because they're not reliant on just one hero to initiate or just one hero to gank, where it's like, oh, I can see the clockwork on the map, they're not doing anything. For TNC, they can always be doing something, and we've even seen it. They're willing to go into a 4-on-5 fight, you know, while one of their heroes is dead, because that's just the kind of team that they are.
Right.
So.
Now Weehaw, level 7 right now, and has a few items queued up. Looks like he's just going to go finish up the wand and then start working on that ever-elusive Blink Dagger. But of course he is playing core, so should be able to get it at a decent time. Top lane, Sam H spamming out the sticky napalms. He's going to take a cask. Here comes Weaver. It's not going to hit the swarm onto Sam H, but lots of damage being done. There's a nice double burrow strike. Drow Ranger is the target of choice for TNC. They'll find it, but not before the Batrider ends up dropping. His Ember Spirit apparently getting very low. Able to get out as Tim's able to challenge the epicenter, but Misery just Shikuchi's away. They're not able to finish off the Soxa kill. Meanwhile, mid lane Moon looks like he might drop, and yes, the phase shift not going to be enough yet again.
I mean, 19 kills in 9 minutes. This game is getting pretty ridiculous.
It's great.
Yeah, it's tons of action. It's so exciting to see TNC, you know, doing what they do best, and it feels like Planet Odd just kind of scrambling to put out fires in every single lane right now.
And Raven, he's going to jump in the mid lane. Can he hit the Searing Chain Sleight of Fist combo? Indeed he can, but Cuckoo is here to help finish the job, and Earthshaker dies for the 4th time this game. 1-4 Weehaw.
Yeah, the 1437 starting to put a bit of a dent in his monopool with this stolen intelligence, which could actually prove to be a little bit annoying for the Earthshaker later on. But once he gets his level 10, he's got plus 250 mana as a talent, so
how many kills does he need to get to prevent an Earthshaker to even use one spell, like a fissure?
I think that's a lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Has
it ever happened in competitive games? You just prevent an entire spell from being used?
I'm not sure. I've definitely seen screenshots of pub games where like even a troll warlord doesn't have enough mana to use both of his abilities, so it can happen. But
one Spirit Lance onto Misery really just wrecks his face. Cuckoo right now. What's the item build for PL this game, you think?
So it looks like he's just kind of buying lots of little items. I'm kind of anticipating that we're going to see sort of the Boots of Travel Aghanim Scepter this game.
You're speaking my language, my friend.
Yeah, it gives them some really good deep push against this Drow Ranger lineup, and you know, against the Drow lineup, you can delay the game, and that's great for TNC's team, I think. And also, like I said before, it's really difficult, I think, for Odd to punish Cuckoo when he's split pushing, and the Ags really lets you split push a lot and clear waves really, really quickly. So,
right, Raven invis here, watching Resolution go to town on these Ancients. Don't think he can solo kill Rezo as of yet, but Tim's is on the way. And we'll see if he can actually... No, Resolution traversing towards the bottom tier 1 tower. Oh, they're actually just going to dive. Here comes the Searing Chains. Nice guts. He's going to attempt to TP out, but the Burrow Strike will help finish the job. Another kill going the way of TNC as the aggro just continues over and over and over. Smoke now onto Odd. Their sights are set on this Bat Rider. Doesn't have Firefly for another 12 seconds. Coil will be used. He'll just run right through it, and that's going to be an easy kill on the way of Odd.
Yep, but TNC going to capitalize, popping the global and going in on bottom. Looks like it might be Wii going down once again. Mass TP's
though. He gets the Echo Slam off Cuckoo. Can he do enough damage to take him out? Indeed, he can with the help of Raven, and Moon TP's in with very little mana whatsoever. Luckily for him, not a whole lot of mana to speak of on anybody else. So Saksa going to force Cuckoo to use the Doppelganger. And that'll break things up as far as this bottom lane is concerned.
Raven might be coming back in here.
Oh my goodness. The mobility of Ember Spirit proving to be a pain in the ass for Odd. Tims gets a nice Aura Strike. Wow. What level is that phase shift? Oh, it's only level 1.
Not high enough. That
maybe not as cool as I thought it was.
Well, but he knew it. He knew that the puck at this point of the game is only going to have the level 1 phase shift. You know, so in some rare circumstances, people will pick up a second point, but excellently timed, and you know, Tim's really putting in a lot of work. He's been playing so well this tournament, I feel, for TNC.
You're talking about Tims?
Yeah, Tims. Yeah. The Ricky performance yesterday, I think he's really, you know, really putting a lot of work.
What did he get on Ricky? I didn't catch that game.
The Ricky game was mostly about the fact that he won the mid lane. He got a defusal and a blink pretty quickly into a basher and just turned into a huge problem.
Oh, Weehaw. Searing Chains into a nicely timed Burrow Strike, and Odd are just, they're losing their mid laner over and over and over.
This has to be so difficult for Odd because I feel like TNC plays such different Dota to newbie, and they're really struggling to adapt.
We've seen this before. Top lane, they're going to attempt to kill Bat Rider, and the Coil will be there to stop the TP. Earthshaker dies bottom lane, Bat Rider dies top.
Yeah. I mean, both teams are taking the opportunities presented by the other team going aggressive.
And another smoke. We don't have time to breathe.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of time for analysis here. It's just kills after kills after kills. Tims is getting close to his blink. If this fight goes well, then I think that's definitely going to be coming up shortly after. And they do have the global sounds coming up in 5 seconds time.
Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can't come any sooner. Tims. Can he get the initiation off? It's a triple Burrow Strike into a global silence. Spirit Lance used as well. Maybe not the greatest of layering with the global silence, but it's not going to matter too much. Earthshaker, Weehaw comes into the fray. I think Saksa channeling that ult. He'll take out the silencer. In the meantime, Raven comes in to clean up the supports. It's a 2-for-1 at the current point. Tim's attempting to juke around the trees. Weehaw gets a nice enchant totem onto Ember Spirit. Cuckoo and company. They'll be able to kill out Earthshaker pretty easily. Now they want more, though. Tim's not able to find anybody with the Burrow Strike, but he's extremely low. Misery, if he can Shikuchi, could find the kill, but Tim's showing the blink there. He just picked up in the side shop. Pops the Sandstorm. Misery, does he have another Shikuchi? In 1 second he does, but he's getting chased by Sam H and Cuckoo, trying to protect their position for Sand King.
And Tim's getting saved by his raindrop there, the blink dagger pickup that you talked up from the side chop. TNC, that was you know, a fraction of a second away from disaster perhaps as Odd ran into them, but the global sounds came up just in time. And I mean, similar to what some people have been talking about so far in this tournament, with teams playing around the very end of nighttime right as things are, you know, coming up. Odd not expecting the fact that they were going to go for that fight with the Bat Rider dead, but it wasn't a very long respawn for Sam H, and everybody on TNC was actually able to get to that fight in the end.
Yeah, now Tim's, of course, with that Blink Dagger, as we talked about several times. Still has Epicenter, by the way. He's going to pop it right here onto Witch Doctor. Saksa. Well, 1 level of Caustic Finale will be enough. He's going to pop his ult, actually, into a coil. Will drop at the end of the day. Phantom Lancer in the meantime. Ends up breaking the coil. It's only 1 kill so far, but Weaver. Misery really wanted to kill this Sankey. Don't think he's going to get his Echo Slam is popped. Bat Rider in a lot of trouble. Gets gusted up. 1-for-1. And Weaver finally finishing off the Sand King. So it's a 2-for-1 at the end of the day. But the aggression, as we've seen, it will continue.
I think the big problem for TNC that fight is that Raven arrives a little bit late and a little bit low on mana, so they can't really commit heavily. And obviously they don't have the global silence either, though it is back up in 1 second's time. So maybe they're looking for something here.
It's TNC, they're always looking for something. They're going to pop Fortification. Cuckoo, not a ton of mana. He puts a Mango, though, back in his inventory, so. And he has a full wand, essentially. Resolution, TPing out, top lane. There's the global silence. Are they actually going to initiate? Looks like Puck is the target of choice. And yes, that's more intelligence going the way of 1437. 12 intelligence, actually, for a position 5. not too shabby 16 minutes in. It's no swindle melons, but it's up there.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Cuckoo making an extremely nice play there, getting the deny on the tower. Moon just committing super heavily to get that. He did force out the global silence, so gives them a little bit more of a window once he respawns. And they haven't seen that he's picked up the blink just yet. He bought it before he died. He had 2,500 gold, but TNC unaware that this is being picked up. And they might not be expecting it after that kill.
After the blink, I'm pretty sure Puck is going to have to get a Yules, because silence is
100%,
just disgusting against the hero. In fact, it is queued up in his inventory right now.
Yeah, any of this long damage over time, and I feel like even 157, he's got the urn already picked up. If he's just throwing urns on the Earthshaker and the Puck in fights, it's going to make it insanely difficult for them to find the positioning that they want and get those blinks off. So pretty tough. Though they don't really have the most amazing vision games, so Odd should still be able to play around the fog and still kind of get those initiations that they want. But I don't know if they're ever going to find 147 because he can just play 2,000 units away from the fight, ready to counter-initiate with the global.
Yeah, bot lane Cuckoo taking a little damage here from Misery. Don't think they're going to be able to actually find the kill. He's just going to take some damage. Now, Misery has the Medallion of Courage, as you talked about. He's going to go straight into a Lotus Orb, which is going to be pretty amazing to be able to take off Global Silence. You have to think at some point he's going to be looking for Ags, because it's almost game-breaking the way that works on a support Weavers. We have a Burrow Strike applied to Drow Ranger. Here comes the Ember Spirit. Nice gust, but low resolution. Be able to TP out of time. Oh, he dies in the fountain. Oh, Lord. Does that give intelligence to...
Yep. If he's the one who gets the last hit, it doesn't matter how far away he is.
Very nice. 1437, very happy with that mechanic as Raven wants to get some more Earthshaker inside of him, but Cuckoo TPs to the creep close by. Here comes the Burrow Strike to help finish him off, and with the Batter, there's actually no support in sight. Misery coming a little bit too late. Gets off a Swarm, but not much else. TNC, we've been seeing them all tournament long be ultra aggressive, and it's almost like a CIS style gameplay that we're seeing. CIS from like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Planet Odd, it seems like they just were not expecting this level of aggression. Aggressive tri-lanes have become almost not a thing anymore.
I can't remember the last time I've seen one.
Yeah,
actually.
but TNC pulling it out here in this game, and I feel like, you know, they've been showing us some different heroes over the course of their lower bracket run, but this is also just kind of a forgotten strategy in some ways. A lot of teams have gotten very successful at dodging aggressive tri-lanes, reading them early, and I feel like a big part of this game is that Planet Odd's 1v1 lanes didn't work the way that they were expecting. This Earthshaker pick, I feel like they were really expecting it to do a little bit better against the Ember Spirit than ended up working out. So Raven really prepared for the matchup, it looks like.
Oh, pretty sure Weehaj actually know exactly what happened in the comms. Weehaj is like, just give me the hero. I don't care. Just give me the hero. And Misery's like, I don't know. Weehaj, just do it, dude.
I don't know, Weehaj.
I can't tell you how many times I heard that conversation over and over. Moon's going to TP to the top lane, of course, has that Blink Dagger, and they're actually going to scan, but not going to find anybody in the vicinity because most of them are well across the map. Raven has Veil of Discord along with Boots of Travel, going for Blink next. Misery scouting things out. Knows that Sand King is taking out some creeps here. Not sure if he can actually find anything other than the courier, perhaps. Doesn't have any items of real worth, but still, some nice gold going the way of the entirety of Planet Odd.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Misery working towards this Lotus. He would love to go for the Scepter right away, but he's not going to be able to use it because of the global, so has to get this intermediate item.
Raven applies the Veil of Discord, has a double damage. Cask is cast by Soxa. It does a decent job, but it's not going to save his life. It just prevents just avoids pretty much nothing, actually. Batrider gets the lasso off onto Puck. There's the global silence, meaning he can't do anything, especially without that Yules picked up. And that is 2 kills going the way of TNC. As the kills they're piling up, man. Okay, greater than sign 5K. What's your guess, my friend?
I am going to say...
Remember, it could be between 5 and 14.9K.
14.9. I'm going to say like 9.2.
All right, I'm going to go lower.
All right, what we got? Oh, okay, I'm way too high.
Bro. It's close to 7,500. I'll give you I'll round up for you.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Appreciate it.
We'll get an update on the. Actually, you know what? I like this.
Some trouble down here.
Sand King, you are donezo, my friend. The silence, the stuns, and the resolution damage. How much damage does Puck have and Weaver? plus 66 damage from Drow. Pretty good.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty sweet. It depends on whether or not the Drow has agi treads on. But
True. How much damage do you get from NESO? Like not including the minus armor, because that's a normal item on like a core weaver, right?
Yeah.
It's 50 damage. It's more damage than the NESO.
Yeah,
and he has the minus armor with medallion.
It's actually pretty sweet. And like we talked about a little bit earlier, Odd do still have, you know, some ways back into this game. They're starting to pick up more pick-off items here and there with the double blink daggers secured. Drow Ranger's going to be going for the Shadow Blade. And if they find some good picks, they could actually make their way over into the Roshan and clean that up pretty quickly. So TNC going to have to be on their toes. And I think the other big thing to talk about for this game is that we haven't seen a whole lot of Ember Spirit this tournament, but this has turned out to be an amazing Ember game for Raven. There's some silences for him to deal with, but his team's been going in first and sort of soaking up a lot of the spells, and he's been able to play under cover of the globals. So very difficult to lock him down and kill him in these fights, even though you would think that Planet Odd kind of have the heroes to do it, between the Waning Rift, all of the Earthshaker lockdown, and the Drow Ranger silence.
Yeah, it's definitely true. A hero that was completely OP a couple months ago and was nerfed a little bit. I wouldn't even say it was a huge nerf, but enough for them. I've even seen a physical damage Ember. Have you? One or two times?
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
But not crazy impressive.
Wasn't great.
I've seen people go for
the 30 damage talent.
Yeah, I've seen people go for the talent, but then not go for the Battle Fury build.
Right.
And just kind of pick up some like more intermediate items, kind of a drum and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Blade Mail is going to be a huge item as well. As we have initiation onto Weaver. Do they actually have enough damage to take him out with the Burrow Strike and the Spirit Lance? Yes, indeed. Down he goes. But it will cost them the silencer. Sox in the meantime TPing out in the midst of danger. No stuns coming his way, so he'll get out safely. No global silence used, so not a huge deal if 1437 drops to the deck.
Yeah, not crazy impactful for TNC. And the thing is, if killing the silencer, they're having to invest spells on him, which are spells that they don't have to defend themselves against the rest of the heroes. So even if silencer kind of gets caught, it feels like he's still sort of doing his job, though. Of course, silencer, ideal situation, he's positioned so far away that they can't even find him.
Man, still doesn't have Yules on the puck yet. Just goes to show how much action there is in this game. He can't even accumulate enough gold for essentially the recipe at this point. Drow Ranger, Sand King finds him. There's the dust. They actually were prepared for this Shadow Blade pickup. There's no lasso though for 20 seconds, and here comes Weaver for the support. Searing Chains on 2. They're just gonna blow him up, and there's the global silence expended. Weaver taking some damage with the epicenter. Do they have enough before his time? Nope. Time lapse is up just in time, and now Witch Doctor gets off a cask. And TNC, you have to think they have the back here. Raven, not a whole lot of mana to speak of, but here comes Cuckoo with the Spirit Link. Sam H being pursued by Misery, and my god, the damage from Cuckoo is out of control at this point with that Diffusal Blade. There is the last. They know Misery doesn't have his ult. They could pursue him, but he's going to finish off Batrider in the meantime. It's a 3-for-1, and there's the stun, there's the control, and the death. The eventual death of Misery on the support Weaver.
And Moon just so late to that fight. He had his TP on cooldown as he was pushing out the top lane. It looked like he was thinking about trying to get some damage done, but just arrives too late to do anything. He had the Dream Coil up the entire time, so might have been able to secure an additional kill for Planet Odd in that fight, but yeah, having TP'd earlier really punishing him.
It's pretty crazy how much damage PL does the moment he picks up Diffusal Blade.
Yeah.
It just amplifies it out of control. And to answer our earlier questions, it was boosted travel into Diffusal and now into Ags, which is only about 700 away, actually. His Resolution's going to find some enemies in his ancient camp area. Not sure if they're going to be able to do anything about this. His Burrow Strike applies to puck. I'm not sure what we're watching on the screen, but I'm not hearing anything. It's fine. It's fine. Soxa.
No, we're watching a replay, but there's action happening live.
It's just confusing me that I hear people dying.
Yeah. there were no kills. There were no kills in the live action.
Yes. But yeah, Phantom Lancer Ags I find to be very underrated. I think Phantom Lancer as a hero just isn't great, but if you play him, if it's a good game for him, I think Ags is always the choice. Yeah,
I think if you're picking him because you're planning on the Aghanim Scepter build. I think the alternative is just much weaker, and there are heroes that do what Phantom Lancer does without Ags better than Phantom Lancer.
Right.
So that's kind of my view on it. And he's also got the Ember Spirit for the Veil this game, so he's got something else to amplify that Spirit Lance damage even further, which is going to be pretty scary.
Here we have a fissure into Enchant Totem and a Silent Sand King, and quite a bit of peril. Another right click will take him out. And does that open up Roche? 50 seconds with Sand King on the deck, and you talked about how fast Planet Odd can take Roche with the minus armor and whatnot, and the ridiculous physical damage coming out from all of their cores. Raven jumps in. There's the global silence. Can they take out Weaver? No, he's at half HP. Gets away safely. Puck in the meantime. There's the Yules coming into play. There's the Echo Slam onto 2 into a fissure as well. Bad Rider drops to the deck. Ember Spirit is stuck in the fissure. Gets a Yules off. Cuckoo trying to do as much damage as possible as Raven jumps to the other side of the cliff, and this is being turned around by PL, who's just dealing ridiculous physical damage. 3 dead for Planet Odd.
Cuckoo sees that the Echo Slam is used, that all of the big cooldowns are finished, and he knows that this is a completely free team fight for him. He sees that they've expended everything,
they need
and he
to
just
try
goes
to
and
get
cleans
Roche, though,
up.
I think, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's more about them taking the Roche away from Planet Odd than anything.
They suck at taking Roshan, but Planet Odd don't have their cooldowns, so maybe they can do it. They do have the medallion on the silencer, so it looks like they're gonna try for it.
Yeah, they know that Echo Slam is down at the very least. They're doing a little bit faster than you would think.
It's still not great.
Not fast enough, apparently, as they're just going to run away. They did have a medallion, by the way, on 1437.
Yeah.
I think they actually could have finished it, but they didn't have enough vision to understand where the rest of Odd was. So they will abort mission.
Yeah, just a scary situation to be going into that pit, I guess, against the Shaker. Even without Echoes, he can still kind of fissure you in. Fortunately, the Phantom Lancer and the Ember are actually pretty decent heroes at escaping that situation, so maybe TNC being a little bit cautious with that, with not trying to take the Roche, but I feel like they could also keep Planet Odd away from the Roshan if they have all 5 heroes alive, so no real rush in taking it for themselves here.
And we saw the Yules come to play with Ember Spirit. Saved his life, literally. Quite the item, for sure.
Yep. Good at finding solo kills as well, because if you go on a solo hero that's able to TP out after you use the Searing Chains, having a second interrupt is really valuable.
And Tim's with the Blink Dagger Force Staff now.
Yeah,
on that Sand King.
He's doing really well for himself, getting off multiple burrows in the fights. It feels really similar to how people were playing position for Slardar not too long ago. The Sand King just has a really repeatable stun that he can keep coming in and using in the fights.
Raven pursuing the Earthshaker, not going to find him. They'll find Soxa though.
That's a freebie.
The sacrificial lamb of Planet Odd. Seen that before once or twice. 30 seconds, only out of play. As Weehaw TP's back to base.
Yeah, I mean, the Witch Doctor is mostly here in this game, I think, for the push sustain, but...
Oh, Moon Meander. He gets initiated upon by Raven. Global Silence is actually used, and with the Remnants, they might have actually enough damage to take him out. One Sleight of Fist and another right click will do the job. Wow. Because he had used Yules already, so the Global Silence, just in time, nicely done.
Yeah, no possible counterplay at all. This Ember Spirit is going off right now. Going to be picking up Ashivas. He's already got his +10 armor talent as well, so it's going to be very difficult for Planet Odd to bring him down. But I don't even know if the Drow Ranger can really sit and auto-attack in these fights. There's just a Phantom Lancer running up in her face. There's an Ember Spirit running up in her face. The Sand King, the Bat Rider. They picked the Drow so early, and they gave TNC so many opportunities to really respond to it. So it's a tough game for Resolution, who's like normally the backbone of this lineup. He's normally having a pretty decent game, finding solid farm, able to be strong and on the front lines, but the Drow just doesn't fit that description.
We're talking about, for them, it was a first pick Drow.
Yep.
First 2 picks. Yeah. Maybe counter to some degree?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. TNC knew that the Drow is really the heart of this lineup. If you're picking Drow, you're going to be picking a hero that benefits from the aura, but also relies on it pretty heavily to do damage in the fights. And if you just take out the Drow Ranger, you kind of disable a lot of Odd strategy.
And bottom lane, we're seeing Spirit Lance come into effect with the Diffusal onto Weehaw. He cannot get out of this. He gets the Echo Slam off, does a lot of damage to the Sand King, but he has absolutely no mana and now no HP, as Soxa looks to be the next target for the Phantom Lance. She's just beating the crap out of him on the sideline. Misery, in the meantime, does help take out the Sand King. There's the Yules onto Soxa, keeps him in place, and that's 3 dead with pretty much very little effort coming out of the way of TNC. Didn't really even need a lot of these spells. Actually, there's a courier coming out. That's a dire courier. Okay, never mind. Being turned around.
That's got to be so frustrating for Moon. He's watching this silencer split pushing mid with no TP, but can't even punish him for it. Goes chasing after him, but with the Solar Crest, with the Urn, he's kind of tanky, and looks like 1437 is going to be just fine. And that fight was all without a global silence. It's only coming up right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
So they had zero contribution at all from the silencer that fight. He was actually just farming mid. Oh, they've got another jump here on the Weaver.
And he looks to be donezo. 50 seconds on the deck, no buyback whatsoever. The one downside of TNC is they don't really have great building destruction, although the tier 3 tower is already at half HP, so.
Yeah, Odd have decent high ground defense, a bit of spam from the Fissure, the Illusory Orb from the Puck as well, so they can kind of hold on. This is maybe a point where we start talking about the Drow Ranger going for like an Ags Mjolnir build kind of a thing, just to...
Yeah, maybe.
To help stand there and clear out some more illusions. The Mjolnir at the very least really helpful with the static charge to help deal with the Phantom Lancer, but he can of course purge it off.
Yeah, ever since the change, I was talking to Shane about this the other day, the change in, I think it was actually 7.0 to the way Maelstrom works. You can't proc it successively.
Yeah, I think it is weaker like with the Drow Ranger strategy.
0.2 second
it has an internal cooldown
now.
Yeah.
So since then, I actually have not. Have you seen?
I haven't seen that build.
Drow?
No, but we haven't seen that much Drow Ranger either. So
yeah, that's true.
Difficult to say.
Would be an issue. I mean, even with just the one proc, I think it's still worth trying if you're really having trouble against these illusions, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other way out Odd really have here. Their lineup is already starting to fall off a little bit. This last pick Earthshaker is actually, when you have last pick, the hero that you last pick should, in your mind, be extremely valuable for you. But the Shaker has just been handled this game.
He's essentially been equivalent to what an off-lane Earthshaker would be, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe even less.
I mean, he's gotten off a couple of decent ultimates, but it feels like for Wii, he actually has to Echo Slam 4 heroes in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen many Blink Echo Slam. It's been mostly, I got initiated on, so I need to Echo Slam. Which is definitely not what you want. And it's going to be a free Roche, and that's a huge deal for TNC, because Planet Odd could probably finish it in about 10% of the time that it's taking them.
Yeah, with the Solar Crest and the Swarm, they take it really, really quickly. And actually, this is still taking TNC a little bit to finish off. The smoke's coming across. They've scouted it with the scan, however.
Oh, it's going to be close, but there's the global silence. Yule's on Puck, going to keep him alive for now. Roshan's getting low, and there it is. Raven's going to take the Aegis. It is secured. It costs them a global silence. The question is, do they still want to fight? Searing Chains onto Weaver. Still has time lapse. We'll pop it. And TNC now on the run as Earthshaker really wants to get off a good Echo Slam Fissure combination, but it is known that they are here.
To me, this is one of the great things about TNC as a team, that while they can be aggressive, they also kind of know their limits and they know when a fight is worth taking. They didn't have the global. They know that they can wait for it to come back up because they have really good ways to push out the lanes between the Phantom Lancer and the Ember, both of which are insanely difficult to catch at this point. And so if they want to, they can sit on this Aegis and just farm their way towards the next global silence. They're also not too far away from the heart on the Phantom Lancer, which is going to make him nigh on unkillable, and it might even give them some kind of a way for them to chip the high ground. He can go up, chip a little bit, always has the Doppelganger to be able to get out. They have the silence and some Force Stabs to back him up as well. So I think that's kind of the call from TNC, and it seems like they're just communicating so well.
Yeah, and actually, surprisingly, Weaver, Misery, is just going to start going right-click, actually. He finishes the Lotus Orb and looks to be buying or at least have his sights on a Diffusal Blade next, instead of going for the, considerably game-breaking Aghanim Scepter for Weaver.
Yeah, it looks like the call is that they feel like they don't have enough damage.
It's like, all right, Weehaw, you got no damage, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, Moon kind of doing the same thing. He's going for Dagon here. Really, really feels like he needs the little bit of extra burst for them to actually bring these heroes down with the. I mean, they don't even necessarily have limited lockdown there.
Did you see what happened top? I don't know if the camera caught it, but the entirety of Odd can't really take out this wave.
They ran into an illusion swarm, and that was about it. Yep.
Yeah, and then he's, it's about done. Let me throw one more Spirit Lance and then just get 5 more illusions. It's all good.
Yep.
It's actually insane.
It's even a little bit reminiscent of the old Phantom Lancer. At least the illusions don't last longer than one wave anymore.
Yeah, that's one reason Earthshaker is not necessarily that great of a counter to PL, because you're not necessarily going to have all those illusions ready to go.
Yeah, and so long as Cuckoo doesn't play in the middle of his clump of illusions, he's kind of okay. He can just sit around the edges of the fight, spam some Spirit Lances, and play a lot like a Slark, really, now that he has this heart. He can go in, take some damage, go in with this blink, take some damage, doppelganger out, wait for the heart regen to kick in, throw some more lances, re-engage. It's very difficult for Planet Odd to really keep him in place.
Oh, Tim's showing himself off here in the mid lane and feeling pretty safe.
Oh, man.
Cuckoo has the blink dagger, by the way.
Look at this. He's just blinking up onto the high ground.
Yeah, he doesn't give one crap at all. There's the global silence and the lasso secured to take out the Weaver. Earthshaker. 4 steps to the high ground, but here come the remnants from Ember Spirit, just destroy him. Resolution pops the BKB. That's a buyback on Misery now. Can they actually hold this? Soxa just getting destroyed by these illusions. Resolution has to use his Lothars to go back to the safety of his tier 4 towers, but I don't know.
Yeah,
There's no way this ends well.
This is Cuckoo's space.
It really is. Cuckoo's like, all right, bro, I got heart. We're good to go. Illusory Orb not going to be enough to get away. And that's 3 dead for Odd in the midst of the base, and that's GG. Phantom Lancer reigns supreme, face kip. I mean, everyone rejoiced that likes Phantom Lancer. It's not many people.
It's not a whole lot. I mean, I like the new Phantom Lancer a lot better than I like the old Phantom Lancer, that's for sure. Exciting game from TNC. We've been talking about through the whole lower bracket. Teams showing off signature heroes like the Oracle, like the Tinker. I was wondering if TNC still had some stuff up their sleeve because they played so many games yesterday. I was thinking Planet Odd had so many opportunities to prepare. TNC really up against it, had to show a lot of their strategies, but it looks like they still have more left. They still have more to show us.
I was really impressed with 1437. We've seen him play